Have you ever found yourself waking up at 3 a.m., staring at the clock, unable to fall back to sleep? You know, the one where you toss and turn, checking the time over and over, wondering if you'll ever get those precious hours of rest again? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's a situation many older adults face, and it can be frustrating. You might even start questioning if something is wrong or if you should be worried. As we age, our sleep patterns naturally change, and waking up in the middle of the night becomes more common. But here's the thing, it's not necessarily something to panic about. In fact, understanding why this happens and how you can address it might help you feel more in control and get back to restful sleep. So, let's talk about it. The first thing to remember is that as we get older, our sleep cycles naturally become shorter and lighter. During these lighter sleep stages, it's easier to wake up, and it can take longer to fall back asleep. This shift in sleep patterns is part of the aging process and doesn't always indicate a health problem. In fact, many older adults find themselves waking up around 3 a.m. without any serious underlying issues. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly 3 a.m.? Well, here's where things get interesting. Research shows that we all have a body clock, also known as the circadian rhythm, which regulates our sleep-wake cycle. For older adults, this rhythm can shift over time, causing them to feel more alert during the early morning hours. So waking up at 3 a.m. could just be a sign that your body's internal clock is telling you it's time to stir. But while it's normal to wake up in the middle of the night, there are other factors that might make those 3 a.m. awakenings a little more frequent or harder to manage. Things like stress, anxiety, or even certain medications can interfere with your sleep. It's essential to pay attention to these factors to see if there's something you can adjust in your routine. For instance, stress is something a lot of us face, no matter our age. As we get older, we might worry about our health, our loved ones, or even day-to-day concerns. These worries can make it more challenging to fall asleep in the first place, or they can wake us up in the middle of the night. You've probably experienced a night where your mind just won't turn off. If this sounds like you, it's worth taking a moment to think about ways to manage stress and anxiety before bedtime. Simple relaxation techniques like reading a book, practicing deep breathing exercises, or even listening to calming music can help your mind settle before you sleep. Try to find a bedtime routine that works for you and creates a sense of calm and relaxation. This can be a game changer when it comes to your overall sleep quality. Another culprit could be medication. Many older adults take medications for various health conditions, and some of them can interfere with your sleep. For example, medications for high blood pressure, depression, or even allergies can affect the way you sleep. If you suspect your medication might be playing a role in your 3 a.m. wake-ups, it's important to speak with your doctor. They may be able to adjust your prescription or recommend an alternative. And here's something else to keep in mind. As we age, our bladders don't quite work the same way they used to. Frequent trips to the bathroom during the night can wake you up. And once you're up, it can sometimes be hard to get back to sleep. This is another reason why waking up around 3 a.m. might seem like a regular occurrence. The good news is that this too can be managed. Try limiting liquids a couple of hours before bed and make sure your bathroom is easy to get to so you don't have to disrupt your sleep too much. You might also be thinking, okay, I've heard this before, but what can I really do about it? Well, the good news is there are small practical changes you can make in your daily routine to help you sleep more soundly and reduce the chances of waking up in the middle of the night. For example, taking a short walk during the day can help regulate your sleep cycle. Regular physical activity has been shown to improve sleep, so find something you enjoy and aim to get moving, even if it's just a short stroll in the park. Creating a sleep-friendly environment is another simple but effective change. A cool, dark, and quiet room can work wonders for promoting restful sleep. And don't forget about your mattress and pillows. As we get older, comfort becomes even more important. If you haven't updated your bedding in a while, it might be time to consider making those adjustments. Now that we've talked about some of the reasons why you might be waking up at 3 a.m. and a few simple ways to tackle them, let's dive into what you can do next. There are other factors at play when it comes to your sleep patterns, and understanding them can give you a deeper insight into how to improve your sleep and overall health. Stay with me as we explore even more strategies that might help you get the restful sleep you deserve.
Now, that we've explored some of the common reasons behind those early morning wake-ups, let's dive deeper into the bigger picture. It's important to understand that sleep is not just about getting enough hours of rest. The quality of that sleep matters just as much. And when it comes to older adults, certain changes in our bodies and our environment can affect how we sleep. But don't worry, there are ways to address this and regain that restful slumber. One key factor in sleep quality as we age is how much time we spend in each sleep stage. As we get older, we tend to spend less time in the deeper stages of sleep, particularly in what's called REM sleep, which is when we dream and experience the most restorative rest. The deeper stages of sleep are vital for healing and energy restoration. When we're not getting enough of this deep sleep, we can wake up feeling groggy, even if we've technically been in bed for several hours. If you're waking up in the middle of the night and find it hard to fall back asleep, it could be because you're transitioning from a lighter stage of sleep and your body's natural rhythm is being disrupted. One way to improve the quality of your sleep is by practicing good sleep hygiene. This refers to habits and practices that help you maintain a consistent, restful sleep cycle. Start by establishing a regular bedtime routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day helps to stabilize your body's internal clock. Yes, even on weekends. While it might be tempting to sleep in on a Saturday morning, this can throw off your sleep rhythm, making it even harder to get quality sleep throughout the week. It's also a good idea to avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol close to bedtime. We often think of alcohol as a sleep aid, but while it may help you fall asleep faster, it actually disrupts your sleep cycle and can cause you to wake up in the middle of the night. And the same goes for caffeine. While a cup of coffee in the morning is fine, drinking it later in the day can affect your ability to fall asleep or stay asleep. Exercise, as I mentioned earlier, plays a significant role in sleep quality. But let me clarify, it's not just about any exercise. It's about timing. While getting active during the day is great, doing vigorous exercise right before bed might actually make it harder for you to wind down. Instead, aim to finish any intense physical activity at least a few hours before you hit the hay. That way, your body has time to relax and you'll be able to sleep more soundly. Another aspect of sleep quality has to do with your environment. A quiet, dark, and cool room is ideal for creating the perfect sleep setting. If your bedroom isn't quite as restful as you'd like, it might be time for a few small adjustments. For example, blackout curtains can help block out any light pollution from street lamps or passing cars. A small fan or a white noise machine can mask any sudden noises that might disrupt your sleep. And don't forget about the temperature. A cooler room, ideally between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, is proven to help people sleep better. If you're in a room that's too warm, it can be much harder to stay asleep. But perhaps one of the most overlooked sleep disruptors is something we all rely on every day: our smartphones. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and computers can interfere with your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. This type of light signals to your brain that it's still daytime, which makes it harder for you to fall asleep. So if you find yourself scrolling through your phone or watching TV right before bed, it might be time to make a change. Try turning off screens at least 30 minutes before you go to sleep to give your brain a chance to unwind. Now, I know this all sounds like a lot to think about, but the truth is, small adjustments can have a big impact. You don't have to do everything at once. In fact, it's better to make gradual changes, testing out what works best for you. For example, try adjusting your bedtime by 15 minutes each night until you find a routine that feels comfortable. Or experiment with different types of bedding and room settings to see what promotes the best sleep for you. It's all about finding what makes you feel most relaxed and rested. Sometimes, the cause of your 3 a.m. wake-up could be something a little more specific, like a medical condition. For example, sleep apnea is a condition where your airway becomes blocked during sleep, causing you to wake up suddenly, often gasping for air. This can lead to fragmented sleep and a sense of fatigue the next day. If you've been waking up frequently throughout the night and feeling extremely tired during the day, it might be worth consulting with your doctor to rule out sleep apnea or other conditions that could be affecting your sleep. Other conditions like restless leg syndrome or even chronic pain can make it hard for you to stay asleep. Restless leg syndrome causes an uncomfortable urge to move your legs, often leading to insomnia or disrupted sleep. If you think a medical condition might be contributing to your sleep difficulties, it's essential to seek professional help. A doctor can perform tests to identify any underlying issues and recommend treatments to improve your sleep quality. But here's the silver lining. No matter what the cause may be, there's always something you can do about it. Improving your sleep isn't just about tackling one specific problem. It's about creating a healthy and restful environment, making small but impactful lifestyle changes, and listening to your body's needs. If you've made some of these adjustments already and still find yourself waking up at 3 a.m., don't get discouraged. It's all about trial and error. Sometimes the right solution is just around the corner. In the next part, we'll explore some additional tips and tricks to help you get the quality sleep you deserve. And we'll dive deeper into how even simple lifestyle changes can make a big difference.
So far, we've explored some of the main reasons behind those early morning wake-ups, from the natural aging of our sleep patterns to factors like stress, medication, and environment. We've also covered a lot of helpful strategies to improve sleep quality, such as adjusting your bedtime, creating a calming routine, and modifying your sleep space. But there are still a few more things to consider to make sure you're setting yourself up for a good night's rest and waking up feeling refreshed instead of groggy. Let's dive into some final tips that could be the key to solving your 3 a.m. wake-ups. One important thing we haven't yet touched on is the impact of your diet on your sleep. What you eat during the day, and especially what you consume before bed, plays a big role in how well you sleep. For example, eating heavy, spicy, or greasy meals too close to bedtime can lead to discomfort, indigestion, and disrupted sleep. If you've ever experienced heartburn or an upset stomach in the middle of the night, you know just how frustrating that can be. A light, easy-to-digest snack before bed can actually help promote better sleep. Think of foods that contain tryptophan, like turkey, warm milk, or bananas, which can encourage the production of serotonin and melatonin, two chemicals that help regulate sleep. Avoid large meals, caffeine, and alcohol in the evening, and opt for something light and soothing. A small bowl of oatmeal or a handful of almonds could be the perfect snack to keep you satisfied without disturbing your sleep. Another helpful tip is incorporating mindfulness into your bedtime routine. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night only to find your mind racing with thoughts and worries, you know how hard it can be to fall back asleep. Mindfulness is all about focusing on the present moment and letting go of anxious thoughts. You can practice mindfulness through simple techniques like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or even guided meditation. One of my favorites is the 4-7-8 breathing technique. It's incredibly simple and can be done lying in bed. Here's how it works. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 7, and then exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this cycle 3 times, and you'll find that your body starts to relax. This technique helps lower your heart rate and calm your nervous system, making it easier to fall asleep or fall back asleep after waking up in the middle of the night. Mindfulness also helps with managing anxiety or stress, which, as we know, can contribute to those middle-of-the-night wake-ups. If you've been dealing with a lot of stress in your life, it might be affecting your sleep in ways you didn't even realize. Taking a few moments each day to practice mindfulness can help train your mind to quiet down and focus on the present, rather than dwelling on worries. This, in turn, can help you sleep more soundly through the night. And here's something else to consider: spending time outside during the day. Exposure to natural sunlight during the day, especially in the morning, helps regulate your circadian rhythm and signals to your body that it's time to be awake and alert. This is particularly important for older adults whose circadian rhythms can shift over time. Try to get outside for a walk or simply sit by a window with natural light. The more exposure you get to daylight, the more your body will recognize the difference between day and night, which can help with falling asleep at the right time. Of course, as we've discussed, physical activity is another crucial component of good sleep. But while exercise is important, it's just as important to get the right balance. Too much physical activity, especially late in the day, can leave you feeling too energized to fall asleep. On the other hand, not getting enough movement during the day can leave you feeling restless and unable to settle at night. The key is finding the right amount of exercise that works for you, something that leaves you feeling tired enough to sleep, but not overexerted. Finally, don't forget the power of social connection. As we get older, it's easy to become isolated, and loneliness can have a surprising impact on sleep. Social interaction, whether it's spending time with family, friends, or even connecting with a support group, can significantly improve your mood and reduce stress. Positive social engagement helps regulate your body's stress response, making it easier to relax and get the sleep you need. If you've noticed that you're waking up in the middle of the night and feeling disconnected, try reaching out to a friend or loved one before bed. Even a short phone call or video chat can help you feel more relaxed and grounded, which might make a big difference in how you sleep. Now, I want to reassure you that if you're experiencing 3 a.m. wake-ups regularly, there's no need to panic. It's a natural part of aging, and it doesn't always point to a serious health problem. That said, if you find that you're still struggling with sleep despite making these changes, it might be a good idea to talk to your doctor. There are many treatments available to address sleep disturbances, and sometimes it takes a little extra support to get back on track. Remember, improving your sleep doesn't have to happen overnight. It's about making small, manageable changes that work for your body and lifestyle. The important thing is that you're taking steps to prioritize your rest and well-being. To recap, if you've been waking up at 3 a.m., don't be too hard on yourself. It's a common issue that many older adults face. Start by adjusting your sleep environment, sticking to a routine, and paying attention to your diet and stress levels. Incorporate mindfulness, get outside for natural light, and find a balance with your physical activity. These simple steps can make a world of difference in how well you sleep and, ultimately, how you feel throughout the day. I encourage you to try out some of these tips, and feel free to share your experiences with us in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more content that can help you live your best life at any age. Remember, getting a good night's sleep is just one step towards feeling your best, and it's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Here's to waking up refreshed and ready to take on the day, no matter what time it is.